Welcome back to OkState Daily. This one is for the action of the weekend for the Cowgirls, who, boy, I'll tell you what. The Cowgirls, I was super worried about this game. Texas Tech is a good team, very good team. This was a team to where if Oklahoma State didn't do exactly what it did, go and play very well on the road, OSU would have lost this game. I was worried to death. You know, we celebrated that big comeback win on Wednesday, and I'm thinking, man, it's going to take a lot of just kind of grit and maturity to move past the euphoria of, you know, the students rush the floor. You got a big comeback win against a highly ranked team in TCU. So how are you going to regroup from that, go on the road, and refocus to the amount where you can go beat Texas Tech? The ladies did it, though, so could not be as excited as I was about the way that they beat TCU and beating TCU. Probably more proud of this win because this one showed the grit. This one showed the maturity because this was not easy. And yes, the Cowgirls did give up a lead down the stretch. So what? They won a huge road game. I don't care. They held. I don't care how it happened. I made the statement before the game started. Just win by one. I don't care what happens, how it happens. I don't care how good. I don't care how bad. Win by 1 point and just move on. So win and move on. Something Cowgirls did by beating the Texas Tech Lady Red Raiders 71-68 on the road in Lubbock. The Cowgirls, so like we said, they were not going to win this game unless they went on the road and played well. How about 50% shooting in the first quarter? And then how about in the second quarter, 62% shooting? And how about 64% shooting in the third quarter? So again, they built this lead by coming out and playing fantastic basketball. And they built their lead up to as many as 14 points. And like we said, after blistering shooting, you're not going to continue to shoot the ball that way. Again, in the first quarter, 50%, second quarter, 62%, third quarter, 64%. You're not going to be able to maintain that. That's one of the big reasons why Oklahoma State, although they got up 14 points, did give up a lot of that lead and just had to hold on down the stretch. The lead did get up to, I said 14, actually got up to 16 early in the fourth quarter, but that was brief because the OSU actually allowed Texas Tech to get back within 1 point at 64-63 with 2:22 left, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, this is like the worst case scenario. This is exactly what I was worried about. Like, you felt like Texas Tech was flipping the script on OSU. You know, OSU did this to TCU. And so what's going to happen down the stretch? And OSU, I'll be darned if Alexia Smith doesn't get fouled. She made two huge free throws to get the lead back to 3. And then Oklahoma State, that was the margin they were able to win by. So just held on, played great early, built the lead, held on down the stretch. Shot 48 when it was all said and done, shot 48% from the floor, 40% from three-point range. But for the second game in a row, only took 10 three-pointers. If you remember last weekend at UCF, Oklahoma State took 30 three-pointers. So against TCU on Wednesday and then against Texas Tech on Saturday, only shot 10 three-pointers in each game. So it's good to see the Cowgirls not relying on the three-pointer. And although the Tech did have a good day shooting, they shot 44%, which is why they were able to keep up with the Cowgirls. Texas Tech was just 8 of 28 from beyond the three-point line. So Oklahoma State only took 10 three-pointers. Texas Tech took 28, only made 8 of those. And that was a large part of why the Cowgirls were able to win. And not just the fact that Texas Tech took 28 three-pointers or only made 8. It's the fact that they took 28. So the Cowgirls forced Texas Tech into some lower percentage, long-distance types of shots. So that was a good deal. That went a long ways, and the Cowgirls coming out victorious and holding on down the stretch. And Staley Hurd, how about Staley Hurd and Micah Gray? Man, those two players are just absolutely phenomenal. They absolutely dominated this game. Alexia Smith had some huge plays as well. The post players continue to play very well defensively in the post. They're not scoring quite as much, but they are playing great defense. But Staley Hurd and Micah Gray were simply fantastic. The only probably blip on the radar Saturday was that Oklahoma State did have 18 turnovers, just 8 assists. But whenever you're able to put the ball in the bucket at the clip Oklahoma State was, they were able to overcome that. But that kind of makes you think, well, if you get into a Big 12 tournament championship game or an NCAA tournament game, that's probably a statistic that needs to flip. You need to have 18 assists, 8 turnovers. I think if you have 18 turnovers and just 8 assists in, say, a Sweet 16 round of the NCAA tournament, unless you shoot 64% for 3 quarters, then you're not going to win the game. And the Cowgirls, because they turned the ball over too much and didn't assist it enough, had to shoot almost 50% overall for the game to squeak by with a victory. Just kind of as a for instance, OSU, the Cowgirls scored 36 points in the paint. It was mostly like dribble drives to the bucket by Micah Gray, Staley Hurd. And then Oklahoma State also dominated the glass. So everything except for the turnovers and assists was really good. 13 offensive rebounds, 17 second chance points. Those were huge. So driving to the bucket, and then whenever you did miss, retrieve it and get shots up again. Micah Gray, how fantastic was she? Only 4 points in the first half, but then 13 in the second half. Then those were huge because that's when Texas Tech was trying to make the run. 17 points overall for Micah Gray, 7-11 from the floor, 2 of 5 from three-point range. Huge day for Micah Gray. And what else can you say about Staley Hurd other than the fact that she is just absolutely one of the best basketball players in all of college basketball? A career high for Staley Hurd, 34 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and 4 steals. So what a game for Staley Hurd. And whenever you go on the road, you got to be able to rely on your quote-unquote dudes, right? Staley Hurd definitely has turned into a quote-unquote dude for this team. And they were able to rely on her to post a career high in a game to where the Cowboys desperately needed to win. On the road, it was tough. How about a career high performance of 34 points? Again, I want to kind of give it up to Tena Magassa and praise Egareba for the defense they've been playing. It was very good. Also, Stacey Jones came in and played very good defense and scored a couple of buckets as well. So although Hurd and Micah Gray are grabbing the stats, no doubt, because of the offensive end, don't forget the defensive work that Magassa and Egareba. And then on Saturday, Stacey Jones did as well. We mentioned the 2 big free throws from Alexia Smith. Alexia Smith, no doubt the unsung hero of this team. Of course, again, going to get overshadowed by the 34 from Hurd to 17 from Gray. But the 2 big free throws were huge. 6 points overall, but it was not as the amount of points she scored. It was when she scored them. And also, don't forget, it wasn't just her scoring. She had some big offensive rebounds and tip-outs that led to second chance points. And those second chance points we mentioned just a minute ago went a long ways in Oklahoma State winning. So, all right, so the Cowgirls are next in action. They come up this week at home, 6:30 Wednesday. Be there for Arizona State, 17-3 overall in the season. Moved to 7-2 in conference. Congratulations, Cowgirls. Great job going on the road and beating Texas Tech.